Good afternoon, everybody. It is now 3 p.m. Eastern, and so we are going to get started with the festivities. Welcome to the 2026 Phi Lambda Sigma Awards Ceremony. My name is Michelle Wiseman, and I'm the chair of the PLS Awards Committee. I am joined today by our awards committee vice chairs, soon to be Doctors Taylor Dabney and Nee Penn Henry. It's been a pleasure working alongside them this year as we celebrate the achievements and leadership of Phi Lambda Sigma members across the globe. I'm excited to begin our program and recognize our award recipients, including the winners of the Charles Thomas Leadership Challenge, Chapters of the Year, Alumni of the Year, and the Mary L. Euler Lifetime Leadership Award, among others. Thank you for being with us to recognize our special guests and congratulate our award recipients. And a very special thank you to our founder, Mr. Charles Thomas, for joining us on the call today. PLS was founded in 1965 through the creative imagination of Alabama pharmacist Charlie Thomas, who was then a student at Auburn University School of Pharmacy. Believing that leaders needed recognition for their contributions to our profession, the Alpha chapter of Auburn University was chartered in 1965, and thus began the tradition that is Phi Lambda Sigma today. We're honored to have you here, Mr. Thomas. I invite you to now turn on your camera and say a few words to get us started.
Okay, let me see if I can turn on the camera. It should be on.
You're good there, Charlie. Go right ahead. We see you.
You see me okay? Okay, well, thank you for letting me be here. First of all, I want to, in particular, congratulate all of the folks who are being recognized today. It's certainly a honor to be here talking to y'all who have been so active in leadership in the school, and I have every expectation that you'll continue to be a leader in the profession as time moves on and as your position evolves over the years. One thing I wanted to do in particular is give you a quick synopsis of how we got the idea actually to form Phi Lambda Sigma. In 1965 I was president of the School of Pharmacy student body, and as such I was tapped for ODK, and I began wondering after a while, after talking to Dean Coker and the other folks that were there, that why we didn't have a leadership recognition of leaders in pharmacy in the pharmacy school, the pharmacy students, because most of the students that were there were actually leaders in their own particular way across the campus in different organizations and so forth. So that's how the idea got to me, that we needed an organization that recognized outstanding leadership in the profession of pharmacy, not just in pharmacy school, but the whole profession. So that's what gave me the initial idea to go ahead and do that. And then thanks to Dean Coker and all the others that were there, as I was a senior at the time, and thanks to all of the other folks that were there, they all agreed, and so we started the process. And of course you probably know the rest of the story here, that it has evolved all the way a long, long way. And it's all due to all of the fine folks who have worked and been members and so forth in our profession over the years. And we certainly want to congratulate each and every one of you that have been recognized for outstanding leadership in pharmacy. And just like me, when my tenure there at the pharmacy school and as president of the student body was up, I got into practice and went out in the real world, so to say, and but I did not just drop what I was doing as far as pharmacy school and the profession of pharmacy as a whole. And it's all of the folks that have come afterwards have been the ones that who have helped Phi Lambda Sigma come to the recognition that it has today, and actually beginning to go international in some respects. So congratulations, you have done a wonderful job in pharmacy school as leaders in your particular areas of the school, and some of you not only in the School of Pharmacy but probably in the pharmacy school student body and in the School of Pharmacy as well. And it's my congratulations to all of you who have achieved this recognition. Your recognition is only the beginning of your profession and your outstanding leadership in the School of Pharmacy. And I just want to let you know that we will be looking at you over the years, and so will the whole profession of pharmacy. It won't just stop here. It will go on and on from now on, wherever you are. And you will go to areas of pharmacy, different types of pharmacy, positions and so forth, and you'll be a leader wherever you are, and carry on this tradition and help the whole profession be recognized as outstanding leaders and professionals in the medical field, including the medication field leadership there. So it's with great happiness that I congratulate each and every one of you, and hope that you have a wonderful and challenging and productive time in your profession as the time progresses, and I know you will, because that's just the type of recognition that you are receiving, and that you'll carry on that leadership on to not only pharmacy but other areas as well, as many of our members have. So thank you so much for all that you've done for pharmacy so far, and congratulations on your recognition. And here's hoping that and knowing that each one of you will progress as leaders in the community and in society as we move on. So with that, I will turn it back over to y'all, and again, congratulations, good luck, and please feel free to contact me if you're ever in North Alabama or at a meeting where I might have to be. Come up and holler at me. I'll be more than happy to talk to you and work with you in any capacity. So congratulations, good luck, and have a great professional time in pharmacy.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. We appreciate you helping us set the tone for today's celebration. My name is Taylor Dabney, and I serve as an awards committee vice chair for PLS. I'm honored to help guide us through the next portion of today's programming. Let us begin by recognizing those who lead our local chapters. Our chapter advisors are an integral in the preservation of our most worthy traditions and inspire the ongoing innovation within our society at large. They provide leadership to our chapters and provide continuity with the central office. Advisors, thank you so much on behalf of the Board of Directors, central office staff, and your individual chapters for all that you do. Would all the chapter advisors please comment your chapter name and your affiliated college or school in the chat to be recognized? Also special and worthy of recognition are those student members who accept the responsibility of leadership in their chapters. We know that our chapter officers are often inducted based on wonderful things that they are already doing on behalf of so many other groups and organizations. To then volunteer and lead our society, in addition, is no small pledge and speaks to their commitment to our profession. Would all chapter officers please comment the chapter name and your chapter name and your affiliated college or school to be recognized in the chat? Thank you all. And of course, we know that without the support of our deans and other administrators, we would not have the opportunity to recognize our student leaders through Phi Lambda Sigma. Would all deans and other administrators present please comment your name and the school in the chat to be recognized? Thank you. And finally, the successes within our most worthy society are built upon the efforts and successes of those who have worked so hard to lay the sound foundation on which we build today. Would all past members of the PLS Board of Directors please comment with your previous role and the chapter which you are or were affiliated? Thank you for your investment in us. In following along with our program this afternoon, the 2025-2026 regional liaisons play an important role on the board of directors as key communicators throughout the organization. You will see their names displayed on the slide. Regional liaisons, thank you for your dedication and the support of the society. If you are with us today, please feel free to say hello in the chat or turn on your camera and give us a wave. In addition, for current collegiate members, if you're interested in serving as a regional liaison in the upcoming year, RL applications are live. The link has been shared in the chat.
Thank you, Taylor. My name is Nee Penhenry, and I serve alongside Taylor as Vice Chair of the Awards Committee. I'm honored to help continue today's celebration of the many leaders who make this society so strong. I would like to take this last opportunity to recognize the 2025-2026 Board of Directors, immediate past President Dr. Caroline Lindsay Coe, President-elect Dr. Aaron Ballantyne, Speaker of the House, soon-to-be Dr. Cami Fleming from the Alpha Omicron chapter, and our members at large, soon-to-be Doctors Ashley Green from the Delta chapter and Quanshal Vinson from the Alpha Zeta chapter. You are all hardworking, thoughtful teammates that I am honored to call friends and colleagues. I look forward to continuing our work together and to honoring the work you have put into this society. I would also like to recognize our incoming elected officials President Dr. Aaron Ballantyne, President-elect Dr. Michelle Wiseman, Speaker of the House Jacqueline Moreno from the Gamma Chi chapter, collegiate members at large Mackenzie Harris from the Zeta chapter, and Jasmine Schaefer from the Gamma Lambda chapter, professional member at large Dr. Natalie Percival, and new practitioner member at large Dr. Madeline Frelick. We are all looking forward to working with you this upcoming year. We would also like to recognize the dedicated staff and appointed members who support the daily work of our organization. Their names are displayed here. Behind the scenes, they keep our programs moving forward, support our chapters and members, and ensure the many initiatives of PLS to continue to grow and thrive. Your dedication, professionalism, and selfless service keep this organization running and inspire all of us who have the privilege to work alongside you. On behalf of the Society, thank you for everything you do for Phi Lambda Sigma. If you are with us today, please feel free to turn on your camera or drop a message in the chat so we can recognize and thank you. We also have several committee chairs that work tirelessly to advance our mission and vision. Our committees are the lifeblood of our strategic plan. All these individuals and their teams have spent countless hours working on your behalf. Thank you for your service to Phi Lambda Sigma. You are valued. For those of you who may be interested in serving on a committee in the 2026-2027 academic year, there are several opportunities to get involved. Applications are currently open for committee chair and vice chair positions with a deadline of April 30th at 11:59 p.m. Pacific Time. These roles offer a unique opportunity to lead committees and help advance the work of Phi Lambda Sigma and the profession. For those interested in broader committee involvement, our board committee interest form is also available and open on a rolling basis, with priority consideration encouraged by June 30th. We encourage you to visit our website and follow our social media pages for additional details. The links have been shared in the chat if you would like to learn more or get started.
I was muted. There we go. Now you can hear me. Thank you so much to my wonderful vice chairs for assisting with this award ceremony. It is very lengthy, so I really appreciate you guys contributing to help save my voice some. We will now move into the awards recognition segment of this ceremony. The Phi Lambda Sigma Awards program allows us to recognize those who are truly leaders among leaders across our society and the profession of pharmacy. This year, we received many outstanding nominations, and selecting recipients was not easy. Before we begin, I would be remiss if I did not take a moment to recognize the incredible work of the awards committee. Without their dedication, none of this would be possible. This year's committee included 11 dedicated members representing both professional and student leaders within Phi Lambda Sigma. In addition to my vice chairs, our student intern who were previously recognized. Together, they reviewed more than 160 submissions across multiple award categories. Their work went far beyond reviewing nominations. The committee also helped strengthen the awards program by implementing standardized review tools, increasing transparency through publicly available rubrics, and developing new recognition pathways to better highlight leadership across the profession. I'm incredibly grateful for their time, care, and commitment, and I could not be more proud of what this team was able to accomplish. The first award today is the Charles C. Thomas Scholarship. The Charles C. Thomas Scholarship is administered annually by the American Pharmacists Association Foundation. Recipients are recognized at the APHA Foundation's Contributors Breakfast on the foundation's website. Representing the leadership vision shown by founder Charlie Thomas, this scholarship was originally identified as the PLS Founders Award and was established in 2023 to honor a Phi Lambda Sigma student member who has provided noteworthy contributions to the profession. A list of past recipients may be found in the awards program. Link is in the chat. In 2011, the PLS Executive Committee approved a change to this award by using funds to endow a scholarship with the APHA Foundation Student Scholarship Program. The recipient of the 2026 Charles C. Thomas Scholarship is Allison Given of Gamma Psi chapter at the University of Charleston School of Pharmacy, where she's a dual PharmD MBA candidate. Allison has participated in many organizations throughout pharmacy school, holding leadership roles in both national and state pharmacy organizations, including serving as our very own Phi Lambda Sigma Region H regional liaison. She has also gained experience across a variety of pharmacy practice settings and plans to pursue postgraduate residency training following graduation, with the goal of building a career that combines pharmacy practice with leadership and service. Congratulations on this outstanding achievement, Allison. I can see a lot of celebrations flying in the chat and on the screen, so continue to share the congratulations to Allison. It's very well deserved. Our next award, the Charles C. Thomas Leadership Challenge Award, represents an opportunity for our chapters to showcase their creative and collective leadership by developing initiatives that promote leadership development among pharmacy students. In recognition of Phi Lambda Sigma's 60th anniversary and the U.S. semi-quincentennial in 2026, this year's Leadership Challenge invited chapters to reflect on the history of our profession while celebrating the leaders who have helped shape it. Chapters were encouraged to explore pharmacy milestones, highlight civic leaders within the profession, and engage with their communities to document and share stories that have influenced the development of pharmacy leadership. Throughout research, collaboration, and creative storytelling, chapters were asked to celebrate the profession's past while inspiring future leadership. Many chapters incorporated interviews with pharmacy leaders, partnerships with professional organizations, and creative formats such as multimedia projects, social media campaigns, and historical storytelling initiatives. We received 14 submissions this year, each demonstrating thoughtful planning, creativity, and commitment to honoring this profession's legacy. After careful review, the awards committee selected the top proposals to be highlighted today. Our finalists will now be invited to present their Leadership Challenge proposals. Proposals were evaluated in two categories: collaborative chapter submissions and individual chapter submissions. The top three proposals in each category were invited to deliver a 5-minute presentation highlighting their initiatives, with the final winner selected through popular vote by attendees here today. While proposals were evaluated in these categories, this slide lists the individual chapters represented in those finalist proposals, including those involved in collaborative submissions. First, we'd like to recognize our collaborative submission category. This category is home to our top scoring proposal this year, and the only submission that took on the challenge of creating a collaborative project, making them the winner of this category. Because the strength and quality of their work, we're excited to recognize it as the winners of our collaborative submission category for the 2026 Leadership Challenge. Congratulations to Gamma, Kappa, and Sigma chapters. At this time, I invite you to come forward and share your inspiring ideas with the members of Phi Lambda Sigma.
Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes, and you can let me know when you need me to advance the slides.
Okay, thank you so much. We can get started. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Hannah Kim, representing the Gamma Kappa chapter at Northeastern University.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Min Hong Tran, representing the Sigma chapter at Massachusetts College of Pharmacy and Health Science, Boston, MCPHS.
Today, we are so excited to share our Leadership Challenge proposal, what is called Beyond the Counter Civic Leadership Story Shaping Pharmacy in Massachusetts. Next slide, please. So besides the fact that we're both based on Boston, Massachusetts is widely recognized as one of the nation-leading hub for healthcare, life sciences, and biomedical research from Kendall Square to Longwood Medical Area. It is known to be one of the top states in the nation for healthcare affordability, access, and overall performances according to the Commonwealth Fund. But what is really interesting is why it became that way. Because this kind of ecosystem doesn't just happen overnight. It's built over time through people, through pharmacists who contributed not only clinically, but through civic leadership, advocacy, and community engagement. And Boston in particular reflects that kind of history, with institutions like MCPHS, the second oldest pharmacy schools in the country, representing the deep root of the profession here. Next slide. So bring this vision to life. Our project is centered around three key goals. First, we hope to document civic pharmacy leadership in Massachusetts today. To do this, we'll conduct interviews and gather reflections from key leaders in the pharmacy communities, including Christian Perry, who is the 2025 Bowl of Hygeia Award recipient, and as well as civic leaders from Massachusetts Pharmacy Association, MPHA, like Ryan Abrams, Tricia LaPointe, and Matthew Machado. These individuals have served as MPHA board directors and have advocated for what is called the Patient First Act for many years, which bill was signed into the effect by Governor Charlie Baker of Massachusetts in 2021. Basically, this bill expands patient accessibility and then the scope of practice of several healthcare professions, especially granting pharmacists with provider status in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Through these conversations, we really hope to capture how pharmacists are contributing to the public health.
For our second goal, we aim to uncover and highlight other untold histories in pharmacy through archival research and collaborating with librarians between our two institutions to cross-reference the collections and ensure that all these narratives are accurate and richly detailed. We'll focus on individuals such as Rosamond Green and Robert Carter III, as you can see on the slide, whose contributions were groundbreaking at the time, yet often get overlooked in the flow of history. Let's start with Rosamond. During her school time at MCPHS, Rosamond joined 8 other students and librarians at the time to form an organization to support women pharmacy students. This club would later become what we now know as Lambda Kappa Sigma LKS, the oldest professional fraternity for women in pharmacy. After graduating in 1915 with her PhD, which is the graduate of pharmacy degree offered in the early 20th century at the time, Rosamond became the first African-American woman registered pharmacist in Massachusetts. This is very impressive considering it happened 5 years before women were allowed to vote and nearly 50 years before the Civil Rights Act was signed into law. Robert Carter's story takes us even further back in time. He was born in 1847 and rose from working as a drugstore delivery boy to becoming the first certified pharmacist in Massachusetts in 1886. The Massachusetts Board of Registry in Pharmacy was established in 1885. By this time, he has already completed several years of practical experience as a pharmacist, which allowed him to qualify for certification just a year after the board was registered. His preserved handwritten formulary filled with recipes for medicines and household compounds have offered a rare and tangible glimpse into his practice, as well as the evolving histories of the field of pharmacy. Building on this work, our third goal is to translate these findings into a public-facing storytelling campaign. We'll develop multimedia and digital content, including a digital exhibit, short-form videos, and visual summaries to share these stories in an engaging and accessible format. We'll disseminate this through social media, student organizations, and institutional newsletter. Hopefully, through this approach, we aim not only to elevate these underrepresented voices locally, but also to connect the stories back to the broader national narrative. Next slide, please.
So at its core, this joint collaboration is about redefining what leadership in pharmacy looks like. So rather than just simply describing leadership, we really hope to focus on uncovering what's often missing from the conversation. By working together, PLS chapter at Northeastern and MCPHS will each offer a unique perspective to tell us more complete story, ensuring those contributions are preserved and shared. Ultimately, our goal is to create something that's not only reflect the past and present pharmacy leadership, but also inspiring the future pharmacists and then the next generation to lead beyond traditional roles and engage more actively in their communities. Next slide, please. Thank you so much for your time. And then if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you and congratulations again to the Gamma, Kappa, and Sigma chapters for sharing your work and for the collaboration and creativity you brought to this year's Leadership Challenge. Next, we'll move on to the individual chapter submission category. 3 finalist chapters, Alpha, Omega, Gamma, and Zeta, will each give a 5-minute presentation, followed by voting, very exciting, to determine this year's winner. We will begin with Alpha Omega chapter. Is Shelby Roy here? Not seeing Shelby Roy here. We can continue on to Alpha Omega chapter. I'm going to stop sharing for a second. All right. Do we have Alpha Omega with, I'm sorry, do we have the Gamma chapter here with us to start their presentation?
Good afternoon, yes.
Fantastic. I apologize. I think I lost your title slide within the shuffling, but if you wouldn't mind just jumping in and rolling with the punches, I would appreciate it.
Righty. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ilma Karadzic, and I have the honor of serving as the president of the Gamma chapter of Phi Lambda Sigma at Mercer University's College of Pharmacy. Along with our treasurer, Caitlin Hemperly, I'm excited to share how our chapter approached this year's Charles C. Thomas Leadership Challenge, titled Bridging Generations, Leadership Through Alumni Connections. We begin with a simple question. Why does the alumni connection even matter? Student pharmacists often experience a gap between classroom learning and real-world leadership insight. At the same time, our alumni, many of whom are established leaders, remain an underutilized resource. Their mentorship, wisdom, and lived experiences offer exactly the kind of authentic leadership development that students seek. We believe that connecting these two groups could meaningfully strengthen Mercer's leadership pipeline. Next slide, please. Our vision was to create a platform where alumni leadership journeys could inspire, guide, and connect future pharmacy leaders. To do this, we set out to interview alumni leaders, capture their leadership stories, build a mentorship-driven platform, and inspire student pharmacists through accessible, real examples of leadership in practice. Our goal was to make leadership development personal, relatable, and rooted in real experience. Next slide, please. So to bring this vision to life, we followed a structured approach. First, we identified key alumni, researching prominent pharmacy leaders whose paths began at Mercer just like ours. And we are fortunate enough to have a vast Mercer alumni network. We then reached out to schedule in-person and virtual interviews with those alumni, and then we interviewed them with purpose by asking intentional, leadership-focused questions centered on advice for future leaders. Finally, we shared our insight and had our media specialist edit the footage into digestible and engaging clips that will be posted across Mercer's social media platforms, and this will broaden student access and also spark interest in leadership opportunities. Next slide, please. So, meet our alumni leaders. The first two alumni leaders that we had the privilege of interviewing were Dr. Shoshana Robinson, whose focus is in oncology and medical cannabis, and Dr. Scott Tomerlin, whose focus is national pharmacy leadership. Their diverse experiences allowed us to highlight multiple leadership pathways and demonstrate the plethora of opportunities available within our very profession. Next slide, please.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Caitlin Hemperly. I'm the current treasurer for the Gamma chapter of Phi Lambda Sigma. So why does our initiative matter? We conducted this project around 4 main ideas, the first being professional development. By connecting students with Mercer alumni and opening up that communication channel, they can learn from real experiences in both successes and challenges. Second, strengthening the leadership pipeline. Mercer has such a strong alumni network, and hearing their advice can really help students to feel more confident as they transition from school into practice, and that can even be before graduation in IPPEs and APPEs. Third, mentorship and engagement. By sharing these interviews on social media, we're creating a resource that students can come back to at any point in time if they ever need inspiration or any guidance. And finally, a main focus of this project for us was to emphasize the PLS mission statement, to recognize leaders in the profession by highlighting some of our many outstanding alumni, and then also to cultivate an environment where leadership development is not only being recognized, but it's being actively encouraged. On the next slide, you'll see a few clips from our interview series that really shows what we were aiming to do with this initiative. Next slide, please.
Before I hit play, I'm gonna stop sharing and reshare with sound just to make sure. Sorry about that.
Perfect, thank you very much.
And if you guys cannot hear, somebody please speak up and stop me.
I would say strategic thinking and communication skills, because I'm in an area that I never thought I would be in. I'm in an area that wasn't included in the curriculum for pharmacy, nursing, most med schools. So being able to step outside of the box and putting myself out there. So even before there was a medical cannabis program, I was going to different events, searching, talking to the people that I need to reach out to, whether LinkedIn, meeting them at Starbucks. So definitely strategically putting myself around people that are in the places that I already wanted to be.
Next slide, okay?
Yes, sorry, next slide, please, would be great.
I think the biggest thing was just in leading our pharmacy teams in the community. Our technicians are amazing pharmacy technicians, pharmacy interns I've had an opportunity to work with over the years. I've worked in several different pharmacies across our communities, in different different needs and things like that. And I think just building those teams up and building my pharmacy staffs. It's not me, it's we, right? And that's always been the approach that I've taken, in any of the pharmacy staffs that I've had the privilege of leading.
Okay, and that was our last video clip. So, yep, perfect. Okay, so where do we see this initiative going in the future? This is something that we are actually very excited to pass on to future PLS members so that we can continue to grow the digital library resource that we are trying to create with this project, and then also continue to strengthen alumni connections. We really look forward to interviewing Dr. Thomas Scherer, whose primary focus is community practice. And we also had the privilege of interviewing Dr. Liza Chapman a few days ago, who recently won the Mercer College of Pharmacy 2025 Distinguished Alumni Award. So we will be editing and posting her interview soon, and we're very excited for that. Next slide, please. And lastly, this project has been so fun, but we definitely needed some support. So we just wanted to give a big thank you to all of our alumni, our advisor, Dr. Noesi, and all of our faculty and staff who helped support us through this project, as well as our Gamma chapter members who actively worked to make all of this happen. And next slide, please. Oh, and with that being said, thank you all very much for your time today.
Thank you all for the lovely presentation. Last but not least, we invite the Zeta chapter to come forward and give their presentation on their project for this leadership challenge.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name's Sarah Caro, and I'll be presenting our Phi Lambda Sigma Zeta Chapter Leadership Development Project. Our project is titled Then, Now, and Next, showcasing the oral histories of pharmacy leadership in South Carolina. Could go to the next slide. So our project is centered around the Bowl of Hygeia. This award has been around since 1965, recognizing civic leadership in pharmacy. And our goal is to bring stories to life, not just as like a name or an award, but through the voices and lived experiences of the leaders who receive these awards. So we first aim to recognize the 60-year legacy of leadership by interviewing past recipients affiliated with USC and who have gotten the Bowl of Hygeia Award. And then secondly, we plan to engage the Zeta chapter members by having them come up with questions and actually be able to conduct these interviews and work alongside the communications team to produce the podcast. And then our third goal is to inspire the broader College of Pharmacy by sharing these stories through podcasts, publications, and presentations. And then we could go to the next slide. So our goals and like our timeline, our goal is by November of 2026, we plan to identify and interview at least 3 to 4 pharmacy leaders. And then in December, we'll actually release a short podcast series as part of the Gamecock Pharmacy podcast takeover. And then in January, we'll end up creating a deliverable, such as like a timeline or a multimedia feature where we compare then versus now and the perspective on leadership. And then in February, we'll share the final project across multiple platforms, whether this is like in the magazine or we get a weekly newsletter or just like publishing it online and like social media. And then we also plan to work with a bunch of different teams. So we plan to work with the USC College of Pharmacy communications team, our honors and awards committee, and of course our chapter members, and then also the Bowl of Hygeia recipients. And then in the future, we also plan to partner with SCPHA to expand to other award recipients outside of USC. Next slide. Thank you. So our process is through like 5 main steps. That's pretty structured. We plan to identify eligible award recipients affiliated with USC College of Pharmacy, and then we'll select individuals and apply the leadership criteria such as mentorship, service, civic engagement. And then we plan to conduct these interviews through student-developed questions and recorded conversations. And then from there, we'll produce the podcast episodes highlighting these themes and stories. And then finally, we'll share the content through multiple channels, including the podcasts and written features. So to bring this to life, we created this is basically like a mock-up of what people will be seeing when they get the notification about the episode. So these episodes will focus on themes such as mentorship, civic duty, and advocacy. And our example here is with one episode could feature Dr. Jean Reeder, who's a distinguished USC professor with over 50 years of experience, and exploring how his leadership and commitment to service has influenced generations of pharmacists. And then this allows us to present leadership in a way that feels engaging, accessible, and relevant to students today, other than a traditional format. So another key part of how we plan to pursue this project and reflect on how pharmacy has evolved is the then leadership was rooted in face-to-face service and a pioneering mindset, often without the support of today's technology. But now we're focusing on building forward, and we use tools such as podcasts and digital media to amplify those same values of service and advocacy. And one of the most powerful takeaways I would say from this project is that while our tools may change, but the core of pharmacy, which is serving others, remains constant. And then next slide. So why this all matters, it has a few different impacts. It preserves South Carolina history, especially the stories that often go undocumented. It also helps students build their professional identity by giving students and young professionals insights on how leaders got to where they are now, and it encourages them to think beyond just the near future and focus on the kind of impact they want to leave in their careers. And then it also promotes alumni and student relationships, and by fostering a multi-generational dialogue that strengthens our community. And then it also works to elevate the profession by highlighting pharmacists as key leaders in public health and civic engagement. Overall, this project is more than just storytelling. It's about connecting the past, present, and future, using the experiences of pharmacy leaders to guide and inspire the next generation. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing your proposal and the work of your chapter. Allow me one moment to reshare my slides with some updates. And then we will share the process of how voting will take place. Go. Okay. We will now open voting for the 2026 Charles Thomas Leadership Challenge Award for the individual finalist category. You will see voting instructions on your screen, and thank you, Brandon, for already sharing the link in the chat for me. Oops, sorry about that. You'll click the link in the chat box. When you click the link in the chat box, you will see a very easy and straightforward voting option. You will have the two chapter names. You will simply drag them in the order of your preference of a voting placement. Double check those preferences on how you would like your voting preferences to be ranked. You will drag them in the order of importance of how you want them to be voted. Before submitting, take a moment to double check your ranking, and then you will click submit, and we will be taking a look at our leadership challenge updates from 2025 while votes are being tallied. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to that. If you have questions about voting, please feel free to place them into the chat, but I am going to advance the slides. Okay, So while votes are being finalized, we are going to welcome back our 2025 Leadership Challenge Award recipients to provide a brief update on the progress of their projects. As a reminder, last year's challenge asked chapters to design, implement, and evaluate a longitudinal initiative to expand a global mindset in leadership development, including partnerships with pharmacy leaders and organizations outside of the United States. We're excited to hear how these ideas have evolved over the past year and what impact these initiatives have had within their chapters and communities. At this time, we invite the Gamma Cap. Oh my goodness, I apologize. It's been a long day. The Gamma Kappa chapter to share a brief update on their project. Gamma Kappa chapter, are we here and ready to present? Gamma Kappa chapter, going once. Gamma Kappa chapter, going twice. Gamma Kappa.
Hello?
Yes.
I think our president is having a little difficulty kind of hopping on. So
Okay.
I can kind of present on behalf of her.
That would be fantastic, Hannah. Would
Yeah.
really appreciate that.
Or yeah, or would it be possible for if we
You want
yeah,
us
I can
to?
just yeah, I can just
Okay,
present. I mean, go
that would
ahead.
be great. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for your flexibility.
Yeah, of course. So, hello everyone again. My name is Hannah Kim, and I'm the current leadership committee chair for this year. So, we are fortunate enough to be selected as the previous year Leaders Challenge winner. So, we are specifically focused on the neonatal healthcare in South Africa and the both U.S. international collaboration. Next slide, please. Yeah, so our partnership included mainly with collaboration of the Rhodes University Pharmacy Student Association in Southern Africa. And then we've been arranging webinars and international collaborations like mentorship. Sorry about the notification. Mentorship to facilitate how we can improve and what are the pharmacists' role in advancing the neonatal health under 5 years mortality rate. So for our purpose, again, we basically try to focus on expanding the global pharmacy leadership, basically connecting our chapter PLS members with international pharmacy leaders outside of the US so that we can kind of broaden the perspective of global healthcare and pharmacy practice. And again, we really wanted to address the global health disparities, focusing on reducing neonatal health and then especially under 5 years mortality in South Africa. And lastly, we really wanted to develop the sustainable partnership, so not just limited to this year leadership challenge. So we were hoping to continue that leadership partnership with South Africa, specifically RUPSA, in the long-term sustainable relationship through webinar or episodic asynchronous activities as well. So our original plan was what included a webinar series, which is divided into 2 days consecutive events, which day 1, education on neonatal under 5 years mortality, and then day 2, discussing more about the solution development. But because of our academic year differences, we had to pivot a little bit. So what was actually executed, we divided into 2 separate series. So the first series focused on the contraceptive education information session, and then the second series more focusing on this NICU pharmacy, specifically a Boston area, and then versus the South Africa. So we invited a guest lecturer from actually Boston Children's Hospital that she was able to speak on antimicrobial stewardship and then what pharmacy role specifically plays in this neonatal healthcare settings. Next slide, please. Thank you. And then these are some of the pictures how we engaged on. There is actually a 7 hours time difference, but then we were able to make this webinar alive. So from REPSA, they invited a couple of guest speakers to talk about what are the common contraceptive methods in South Africa, and then we were able to further expand that knowledge in comparison to US. So we kind of based off of the information what we shared during the webinar, we were able to share to the broader community through our social media. Next slide, please. And then this is the second NICU webinar that we hosted. So she's Dr. Hennessy, and then she mainly talked about how the NICU pharmacy's role, and then career pathway, and then the day-to-day responsibilities, and then what are the common practices in NICU setting, and some of the mortality and the morbidity, how we can take a role in that, and then the preventative care, and then again, antimicrobial stewardship, and then closing with the career insights like advice, and then what we can get involved more in during as a pharmacy school year. Next slide, please. In terms of the outcome from the first contraception reproductive health webinar, we had approximately 18 pharmacy students joining from our PLS member and REPSA Student Association. But this recorded webinar got shared broadly into more of the pharmaceutical association of both of the universities. So at the time, we had only 18 pharmacy students, but it got shared more broadly and into extended community. And then the second webinar, the live participants were about 21 pharmacy students from both the chapters. And then these are some of the kind of takeaways and that the students shared as a feedback. And then in terms of way of conducting our outcome, we also sent out a survey about the NICU webinar specifically, so how we can improve further on and then how we can sustain this relationship further. Next slide, please. And then lastly, another program that we got on was mentorship program, which we divided basically the cohort into based off of 6 different interest areas. So the first one being academic and curriculum, and then second, career insight, and then third, licensing and training differences, and then fourth, research opportunities, and then the last 2 are cultural exchange and then everyday students' life. So because, again, of the different academic schedule, we were able to launch this actually last month, but then we're hoping to continue this mentorship program as our continuous PLS mentorship program with REPSA University. Next slide, please. This is our future step, as I mentioned. So the immediate next step would be just continuing expanding mentorship program. And then we're actually planning to have a little informal certificate for the students who went through this mentorship program. And then in terms of just short-term goal, we are also looking into developing more of the repeatable framework for the future PLS chapter and the new inductees. And then in the long terms, we're hoping to also reevaluate the live webinar because there is a little bit of a time difference challenge so that we can kind of still able to collaborate with hybrid model or even asynchronously. And then I believe this is our last slide. And then I want to acknowledge for the people who helped us along this carrying out the leadership challenge, including REPSA and then PLS, and also the leadership committee members and our faculty advisor, Dr. Dion. And thank you, everyone. This is the full update from Gamma Kappa chapter.
Thank you, Hannah, for jumping in, and to the Gamma Kappa chapter for sharing your updates in progress, especially on such a hard topic. I know a lot of barriers come with international outreach, so thank you for all your hard work on this Leadership Challenge initiative. Next, we invite the Alpha Lambda chapter to present their project updates. Alpha Lambda, if your leadership is here, we would love to hear from you.
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Amelia from the Alpha Lambda chapter of Phi Lambda Sigma from North Dakota State University, and we were one of the winners from the 2025 Charles Thomas Leadership Challenge. So I'll just go over a little bit of a recap of what we've been working on for the past year. Next slide, please. So our chapter's purpose aims to create sustainable leadership development and enhance global healthcare accessibility by partnering with NDSU and then University of Western Australia School of Pharmacy. So our primary objective is to host 2 blood pressure screening clinics at UWA and then NDSU. These clinics promote early detection of hypertension and address critical healthcare access needs, especially in places with rural communities, especially North Dakota, where most of our population is rural. Patients have a lot time easier accessing a pharmacy than a clinic sometimes. Next slide, please. So our goals, hosting 2 blood pressure screening clinics at UWA and then North Dakota State, promoting early detection of hypertension and addressing healthcare access needs, and then creating an ongoing platform for students to recognize and develop leadership within their community and profession. Next slide, please. So the first year of our project, we were unable to get into contact with the first school that we wanted to work with. So we had to rework the timeline. So for this first year, earlier this spring, we were able to get into contact with the University of Western Australia, and we are working on setting up a time over Zoom to establish student connections and get some of the other part of the project initiated. The second year, we'll prepare students for the upcoming clinic by completing an online training module and hosting blood pressure screening opportunities at both universities. This will also be pharmacy interview preparation is the focus of this year. So interviews for jobs and residencies and stuff like that. Next slide, please. All right. Year 3, new chairs for the project will be established. These chairs will oversee finances, communication, and fundraising on the project. And then assess readiness of University of Western Australia School of Pharmacy about establishing their own PLS chapter. The 4th year, students will meet at the beginning of the year to establish what leadership goals are for the year, and then a second blood pressure screening clinic at both universities. And then next slide, please. Thank you for listening, and we'd like to thank everyone who has contributed to the success of our project.
Thank you so much to both of our 2025 Leadership Challenge winners for sharing the progress on your projects. As I had previously stated, we know that sometimes this global outreach does come with a lot of roadblocks. So we really appreciate your perseverance in making these proposals come to life. I am going to reshare my screen one more time because we have some updates with our winners, and I want to make sure that they were captured appropriately. Okay, jumping right back in. Thank you all for your patience. We love technology, but sometimes it can also be a pain. I want to take a moment to extend a special thank you to all of our chapters who submitted proposals for this year's Leadership Challenge. As the awards chair, I did have the opportunity to read every submission, and I was truly impressed by the creativity and thoughtfulness and the innovative ideas that you all brought forward. I strongly encourage chapters to continue implementing these ideas. If funding is needed to support your initiatives, please consider applying for our iLead and Lead Chapter Development Awards next year. You can see some of our wonderful chapters who have received funding for these awards in our awards booklet that we have put together. Additionally, chapters that implement their own leadership challenge initiatives or initiatives developed by other chapters should be sure to include this information in their annual chapter reports. So these efforts can be recognized, aka you can receive points for them that would lend to your overall score for chapter of the year consideration. Hint, hint. Thank you again to all the chapters who participated in this year's leadership challenge. And now the moment that you've all been waiting for. Congratulations again to our collaborative category winners, the Gamma Kappa and Sigma chapters, and to our 2026 leadership individual category winner, who is the Gamma chapter. Congratulations, and thank you so much for coming forward, presenting your work, and to everybody that participated in our first live voting on an award, and for bearing with us for any and all technical difficulties. We hope this was a really fun addition to our awards segment for some engagement, and we hope to continue it moving forward. Next, we will be announcing the Chapters of the Year and Lead the Way awards. These awards were created to recognize the accomplishments of our 130 and counting individual chapters. All chapters submit their annual chapter reports by the deadline, are considered automatically and eligible for award consideration. We will be recognizing 3 chapters of the year based on chapter size, and additional Lead the Way awards recognizing chapters with outstanding work in one of 4 areas that align with the mission and vision of PLS: leader recognition, leader development, transformational change, and diversity, equity, and inclusion. Chapter of the Year had outstanding accomplishments in multiple areas, while Lead the Way award winners topped the list in achievements in one area of focus. Before I announce the winners for Chapter of the Year, I'd like to recognize the finalists for these awards. All chapters listed here had outstanding accomplishments and scored very highly on our evaluation rubric in one or more areas. When I announce the winning chapters, would any chapter member or chapter officer or members present please comment in the chat to be recognized so we can celebrate all of your hard work. First up, we will be celebrating our Chapter of the Year winners, starting with our Division 1. Division 1 represents chapters that have a small number of highly dedicated members. Our winner is Alpha Zeta chapter. Congratulations. Division 2, which is our medium-sized chapter, and our winner is Delta chapter. Congratulations. Division 3, which represents the chapter with our largest number of members. Congratulations, Beta Iota. Lead the Way awards were chosen to recognize chapters with strong dedication in one of 4 areas of focus. These chapters did an outstanding job in showcasing their chapter activities through their chapter reports. Now we will recognize top scoring chapters in each Lead the Way category. For leader recognition, we would like to recognize Gamma Alpha. Congratulations. For leader development, we would like to recognize Alpha Omicron. Congratulations. In the area of transformational change, we would like to recognize Epsilon Beta. Congratulations. And for excellent work in the area of diversity, equity, and inclusion, we would like to recognize Beta Alpha. Congratulations again to all of our winning chapters for your dedication and hard work. Next, the Chapter Member of the Year. This award program was created to allow each chapter the opportunity to formally recognize one member from their chapter who exemplifies leadership and is deserving of recognition. We are pleased that many chapters took the opportunity this year to recognize outstanding members. A list of those receiving this honor can be found in our awards booklet. The link is in the chat. If we have any current Member of the Year award recipients present on this call today, would you please comment your name and chapter in the chat so that we can celebrate you. Congratulations to all. Similarly, chapters may choose to recognize outstanding alumni members who have exemplified leadership qualities in support of the profession of pharmacy. Chapter alumni who were recognized this year can also be found in the awards booklet. If any of these outstanding alumni members are here today, please turn on your cameras and wave or put a comment in the chat so that we can also celebrate your achievements. Congratulations to our honored PLS alumni, and thank you for your continued support of our society. Our next award is the Society's Alumni of the Year Award. This award recognizes one member annually with demonstrated accomplishments in professional practice, education, professional association work, and community service and/or mentoring. Thank you to the chapters who nominated your most deserving alumni. This year's recipient of Alumni of the Year Award was nominated by Bethany Shoulders, supported by the rest of the Theta chapter at East Tennessee State University, Bill Gatton College of Pharmacy. Congratulations to this year's winner, Dr. Kelly Covert. Dr. Covert, Associate Professor of Pharmacy Practice and PGY2 Internal Medicine Residency Program Director. Dr. Covert is recognized for her transformative leadership across pharmacy education, clinical practice, and residency training. She has played a central role in curriculum development, postgraduate preparation programming, and the growth and revitalization of residency training at her institution. Throughout this work, she has helped shape how future pharmacists are trained, mentored, and prepared for advanced practice roles. In reviewing her leadership attributes, nominators consistently describe Dr. Covert as a dedicated mentor, innovative educator, and respected leader whose influence extends well beyond individual learners into institutional impact. Here are a few reflections shared in her nominations. Dr. Covert demonstrates an exceptional commitment to developing students and residents, fostering both clinical excellence and professional growth. Her thoughtful and patient approach to mentorship, combined with her leadership in curriculum and residency program development, has had a lasting impact on learners and colleagues alike. Nominators also emphasized her strong character, professionalism, and genuine investment in helping others succeed, noting that her leadership continues to strengthen both her institution and the broader profession of pharmacy. Dr. Covert is a true leader whose sustained contributions across education, scholarship, and professional service have helped shape the next generation of pharmacy leaders. For those reasons, we are pleased to present the Alumni of the Year Award to Dr. Kelly Covert. I invite Dr. Covert to please share some thoughts with those of us in attendance.
Hey, can you guys hear me okay?
We can, thank you.
Okay, awesome. I'll keep my statement short, but I just wanted to thank everyone at PLS, everyone who nominated me. I was thinking about what was best to say. When I was first inducted into PLS as a pharmacy student at the University of Tennessee, I felt total imposter syndrome. I thought that would go away. Turns out it doesn't. So it's truly an honor, and I really appreciate it. And I thank you to Bethany for nominating me. So thank you guys so much. It's been really cool to see all the work that everyone is doing during this award ceremony. So thank you for having me.
Congratulations again, and we appreciate the brief comments. I'm sure everybody is ready to get on with their weekend. All right, our final award tonight, or this afternoon, I should say, depending on what time zone you're in, is Phi Lambda Sigma's most esteemed award, the Mary L. Euler Lifetime Leadership Award. This award, supported by Procter & Gamble, is given to an individual who has exemplified leadership qualities in support of the pharmacy profession. The award is named after our own Associate Executive Director Mary L. Euler, who has dedicated multiple decades of her professional career to Phi Lambda Sigma, and I did see her on the call today, so hi, Mary. Most notably as our Executive Director for 20 years before stepping down in 2020, Dr. Euler recently retired as the Associate Dean for Student Affairs at West Virginia University's School of Pharmacy. She has previously mentored students graduating from the University of Charleston School of Pharmacy, where she served for 4 years as the McGee Chair for Doctoral Studies and Associate Dean for Academic Affairs. She began her tenure as Executive Director for PLS starting in the late 90s and served in the role until 2020 when she passed the baton to Dr. Brandon Jennings. She continues to serve as a society as Associate Executive Director, always ready and willing to provide advice and historical perspective to guide our leadership year after year. She also founded a travel scholarship through Phi Lambda Sigma, enabling collegiate members to obtain funding for travel to leadership development opportunities. In memory of her friend, longtime colleague, and avid traveler, Kathleen Hawkins. Many would describe Dr. Euler as someone who has guided and mentored them in their own leadership journeys, and thus the Mary L. Euler Lifetime Leadership Award recognizes the recipient for their role in mentoring, coaching, or guiding future or current leaders to positively impact the advancement of the pharmacy profession. Now it is my pleasure to announce the winner of the 2026 Mary L. Euler Lifetime Leadership Award, who will join all of those previously recognized. This year's recipient was nominated by Kelsey from Delta Psi chapter at South College. Congratulations to Mrs. Jill Brimmer. Jill has demonstrated exceptional leadership in supporting the pharmacy profession through her work in student development, academic operations, and institutional advancement. Over the past several years, she has played a central role in shaping the student experience from admissions through graduation, while also leading many of the core operational functions that allow her institution to thrive. Her nominators consistently highlighted her ability to lead with both excellence and empathy. She is known for her thoughtful and solution-oriented approach, often identifying opportunities for improvement and implementing meaningful changes that enhance both efficiency and the student experience. One nominator shared that her leadership is grounded in a commitment to lead strong and execute with excellence, a principle that is evident across all aspects of her work. Another letter writer noted her profound impact as a mentor, stating that she provided guidance that is knowledgeable, compassionate, and steadfast, helping students navigate not only their academic journey, but also personal and professional challenges. Her influence extends beyond individual interactions, shaping a culture of support, professionalism, and collaboration within her institution. Mrs. Brimmer's contributions embody the spirit of Mary L. Euler Lifetime Leadership Award. Through her dedication to mentorship, her commitment to student success, and her ability to strengthen the systems that support pharmacy education, she has made a lasting impact on the development of future leaders in our profession. Congratulations, Mrs. Brimmer. I invite you to share a few words as we recognize this well-deserved honor.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Perfect. So I will keep this brief as well, but I am so honored to receive this award. And I just wanted to thank Dr. Tigner, Dr. Shalio, and Dr. Gentry for writing my letters of support. They all mean so much to me personally and have been wonderful mentors in my life. And I'm just very grateful to them and to PLS for recognizing me today. And leadership is so challenging at times and can be very overwhelming. And I just want to really encourage everybody who's here today to just keep going and take a breath in those moments that are very challenging, because it is worth it at the end of the day. And just remember gratitude and to thank everybody around you as often as you can, because it makes it worth it to do what you do. And I'm so impressed with everything I'm seeing here today as well. So with that being said, thank you again.
Congratulations again. Thank you so much for being here. And I know we all wish you continued success on your pursuit of your doctorate as well. So thank you for all you do for your students. All right, everybody, thank you so much for taking this journey with us today. Congratulations again to all of our award recipients. It's been an honor to celebrate your incredible work and leadership across our society. Thank you for being here and taking the time to recognize the impact and dedication that continues to move Phi Lambda Sigma forward. I hope today leaves you feeling inspired to continue leading, growing, and sharing your story through the many opportunities our society has to offer. A reminder that our committee chair, vice chair, and committee involvement forms are open for submission. The links are in the chat. We look forward to celebrating even more of you all in the years ahead. Thank you again for joining us, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and weekend, and we will see you next year.